Hey guys, how are you going? It's Ciarain here from Leapfrog Fight TV with episode 9 of Between the Rounds. Joining me is a very close friend of mine, Kevin Fielder. Kev, awesome to have you on,
Great
man.
to feel,
It's
man.
a fucking pleasure. A little backstory behind me and Kev's relationship. Kev is also my strength conditioning coach. You might see if you follow my socials or his as well. And we often get up to a lot of ice bath stuff, which is going to come sooner or later now in this documentary. Or should I say interview, not documentary. Anyway, fuck it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kev, it's great to have
man.
you on. Obviously, Kevlar Strength, as we know him though as well in the S&C world. Kev, it's very interesting having you on. You do a lot of interesting things in your life. I mean, also running a full-time job with a family. You're also maintaining a lot of training and maintaining our training, which is admirable. So that's the first thing I wanted to say with that. But first of all, like I start with every interview, bro, why and where did it all start for Kevin Fielder?
Yeah, so probably a long story, but yeah, I got, like, as a kid I hated sport until I was about 15, 16. I did nothing. I was a tiny little kid, walked around about 9 stone. But like a lot of people who got into Thai boxing, I had some issues in my life that kind of got me into it. When I was younger, my stepdad was a bit of an asshole to do things. So he used to hit me and my brother a little bit. Not like the worst in the world, but like, you know, he'd hit us and bully us a bit and stuff. And it got to the point when I was like, nah, I'm done with this. Yeah. And like, so, because I grew up in Harpenden and then I got training in Luton. So yeah, big shout out to the guys who used to run Eagles Thai boxing in Luton, which I don't think exists there anymore. I think there's still a Siam Eagles, which was someone bought it. Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, so yeah, I trained over at Eagles Muay Thai in Luton, over in Stopsley. And yeah, that was brilliant. It was, I guess it taught me a lot of things. Taught me about bullies, because as soon as I got a bit naughty at Thai boxing, he stopped, unsurprisingly.
Crazy,
which to this day I think was quite lucky, because I was like a 18, 19-year-old kid with a massive chip on his shoulder, and like I wanted to kill him. I'm not going to lie. I hated him, but I'm not someone who starts fights, so I was just waiting for him to raise a hand, and then I don't know what I'd have done. And to this day, I don't know what I'd have done. But because he was a bully, he never did, right? So, that's the big thing you learn about bullies is they're not usually actually that tough. They're just people who want to be tough and will push other people around. And a very similar thing that I've been, as Ciarain knows, but I may as well share it with everyone. My little girl has got I don't want to call him a father because he's just a person, right? But he never touched her, but he got into where he'd shout at her, and she'd come home to me and be like, "Mummy leaves the room," and Matt shouts at me. And one of the big things about, again, teaching about bullies, but also the benefits of being healthy and being able to kind of handle yourself. Like, it took one word from me that like things would not go well if he carried on, and Molly says it stopped. So, but it's so I guess again, learning about people who bully, they will pick on people who are weaker. When I was a little 9 stone kid, my brother's 3 years younger than me, so he's quite a lot chunkier than I am, but he's obviously younger. Yeah, my daughter's an 8-year-old girl, right? And it's bullies will pick on people that are easy, and as soon as you learn that and learn that you can stand up to them and be confident, they usually go away and find something else to do, right? So that's the one big lesson it taught me. The other one was just kindness of people, right? So I was kind of ending school and going to uni and stuff at the time, so I wasn't like poor. I grew up in Harpenden. I was poor, but we weren't like a rich Harpenden people. We were just average. But the guys that I trained with, they obviously lived in Luton and stuff. So they weren't the richest people in the world, but they looked out for me, and we'd go out for dinners and as a team and all that kind of thing. And if I didn't have any money left because being a student or whatever, they would buy me dinners out, just like curries and Luton and stuff. Nothing major, but just they looked out for me in ways that you wouldn't expect people who aren't minted to do so. So, it really taught me about, community as well. So it saved me from a bad situation. It got me into Thai boxing, which, obviously eventually led me to here, which is really cool. I had a few fights when I was young. I had like 4 or 5 fights, nothing major, just like, N class and C class stuff, but got in the ring a few times, which I think is an awesome thing to do. Whether you do it as Muay Thai or whether you do white collar boxing or something else, just that experience of dealing with the nerves. I mean, you know this, right? You do this all the time. But dealing with the nerves, walking out in front of not even a massive event, but even a small event's going to be like 1,000 people, 800 people. So walking out in front of quite a big crowd and dealing with the fact that you've got your people cheering for you, but there's going to be some other people like booing you and shouting at you, possibly, hopefully not because they're good people, but you get a bit of it. And dealing with all of that is such an experience. Just do it once. Whoever you are, try it once. Like white collar boxing is pretty safe, right? They stop the fights really early. They look after you. It's not even as it's not as violent as normal boxing. They look after people better. But those do something, because just the experience of doing that is mad. So so I've got that. How to deal with bullies, getting more confident, looking out for people, and that's it drives me to do a lot of what I do now, which is as you guys know, we've been training for a few years now. Like, so myself and Ben and Ciarain and a few others, we do pretty religiously 3 days a week S&C work, and it's been 3 or 4 years now or so. So we've done a lot of time together, and it's that for me, helping people out, giving back, and obviously sharing the journey is a really important thing because I got that when I was younger. So I think that it instills that in you. And one of the things I've never understood is when you see good things, or you come from a bad background. I never understand people who use a bad background as an excuse to do bad things later, because you know how bad it is better than anyone. If you have a lovely background, you don't know how bad it is to get like hit as a kid, or bullied as a kid, or threatened as a kid, or any of that stuff. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, it affects people in different ways, but for me, it's made me like really overprotective of my family, and really, put my family. Well, you guys know it, right? My family comes first, my friends comes first, and it's really instilled the opposite of that in me. That I would always look out for people and make sure everyone's all right. So I think it was a really good, really important part of my life. I did it for about 10, 12 years in Luton for mainly, and then a little bit in Stevenage when I moved there. And then just kind of with moving and jobs and everything else, fell out of it for a little while. And then again, I think probably when I met you 3 or 4 years ago, whatever it was, during lockdown, we did a bit of spark.
We actually done a lot of PTs actually, because like we started doing PTs together, and we were training at the same gym. It was Fensham's gym at the time, and we were doing a lot of training there. And like over the years of like fighting, and when I first came back, it was like, oh, I'm gonna get you fit, I'm gonna get you strong. And then obviously each fight, it started getting more and more, all right, this is getting more and more deeper now, it's getting more serious. But just to touch on that, I mean, just to go back from what you said about Muay Thai and what it offers you, and not just Muay Thai, but martial arts, it gives you that safety net of like, it's okay. You've got people there that will support you in through tough times. But then also when you're going through a tough time, like for example, like the stories you mentioned there, it stops you from making rush decisions that could put you in a worse position. Because you look at the overall, like, right, I put myself in this training session every day with different lads, with different problems, with different meanings and different drives, different motivations. And you realise then that there's a lot of us in the same boat that have these issues, and martial arts retain us from doing anything silly or doing anything that is emotionally attacking us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's really important. And it's probably a message for any parents watching this as well. Martial arts will make you less likely to get into trouble, because you know it's not worth it. Even when I used, like, going back to when I was training, we're training in there's a couple of clubs I trained in Luton, actually, there's another one I trained in as well. And one of the things I always remember, the instructors were like, don't have a fight. If someone starts on you, run. If someone starts on you, you can't run, hit them in the solar plexus or the throat or the nuts, and then run. It was really, and these were tough dudes, right? Like people that I wouldn't want to mess with. And it's like, but their first rule was don't, because you don't know what's going to happen, right? If you harm someone, you can end up in a lot of trouble. Just that, someone you just push someone over and their head hits a curb or something, you're in a world of trouble. Or they've got a knife, or they've got a load of mates around the corner, or whatever, right? It's just not worth it. So, but you learn that, and you learn that confidence and that kind of discipline as part of martial arts. So it's literally the opposite of what people might think, that you're learning a fighting sport or a fighting art, but you're learning it to be less violent and more disciplined. And it's completely the opposite. So if you are a parent of kids, I can't recommend it enough for making your kids confident and disciplined to get them into something. It doesn't have to be Muay Thai, we love that, that's what we do. But any of them really just helps that discipline, that confidence. And like you say, having a team around you, you sweat together, you bleed together, you eat together. I'm a big fan of breaking bread, so we quite often will have training and then go for like breakfast afterwards or whatever.
Or the rituals, the Saturday morning rituals usually.
And it's that breaking bread and being a team and being part of, it is like a family. We talk about it quite a lot, our little group, that it is like an extended family. And, Ciarain and Lou and others, they'll be round here, they hold my baby, and they're almost like auntie and uncles to the family and stuff. And it's that's really important. You get this close circle, don't you, that looks out for you, and you look out for them, and it is your bigger family.
It's your family outside of your family. And like, I think that's why it's so good for young people to see parents like yourself grafting and training, because they see, like, yes, you've got your job, which we'll get onto in a second actually, because that's very interesting. But you have all them aspects, but they can never understand your work, because your kids no one will ever understand your work but you. But especially for your kids to see, oh my God, my daddy or my mammy trains, and obviously both you and your partner, Georgia, your wife, both train very actively. And so I think, like, for your kids, seeing them going, wow, we've got two massive role models that make us want to get out of bed and do something that isn't just schoolwork and obviously work. But Kev, I want to jump onto your job, because obviously you train us like a motherfucker. You train yourself like a grafter. You'll see some training clips on this video. But please explain to us what you do as a job and what it entails on a day-to-day basis.
Can I very cheekily just jump back to Georgia very quickly and then ask?
Okay, we'll rewind.
Yeah, so no, I just want to give a big shout out to my wife as well. So she's like legit,
legend.
man. She's an awesome mum to our 10-month-old baby. She works in a job as well. She trains. She's a great stepmom to my daughter and a really good role model to my daughter. And she's great with knees and elbows, which is really scary for me.
I've held pads for Georgia a few times. She's an animal, right? Big shout out to Georgia.
I walk in the kitchen and I never know what's coming, right? But no, she's brilliant. On to my job. I work in IT security. I'm a chief security officer. So what that means for people who aren't aware, I'm not going into huge detail, but basically we protect companies from bad stuff, right? So it's like the technical side of being the security dude on the door. So you'll have heard about hacking and data loss and people taking over your identity and that kind of stuff, identity theft, all those things. My and my team's role is to make sure that doesn't happen for the companies we work for. So it's protecting them from all of the naughty stuff on the internet. It's protecting them from people who are malicious insiders. So if you work for a company, you have access to data, you might want to steal it, that kind of stuff. So we're trying to monitor what's going on, build safe and secure systems and protect it all. But the really interesting part of it is so much of it is human nature. So like I love... You might think that doing like technical security has nothing to do with fitness, and fitness has nothing to do with technical security. But so much of what goes wrong in both security and people doing things that they shouldn't do or whatever else, or things that are the easy option in security, is the same problems you have in the complete mess that's the fitness industry, right?
Wow.
Because everyone wants a quick fix, right?
Yes.
So in security, people, a lot of times when people do things that put data at risk and stuff at risk at work, they're not actually trying to be malicious. They're just trying to do the easiest thing. So they might
and it
send
comes
work,
across as
like the classic one is I might actually want to do some work at home, and if my home computer is better, I might email myself some work to home, but with the best intentions of doing some work at home. But then they get stolen off my machine, and all this bad stuff happens. So a lot of what goes wrong is people trying to be good, or trying to help, or trying to just find the easiest way to do things, because people always want the easy path. Same as all that kind of bullshit online 6-minute abs. It's not true, right? You know, buy my program, it'll be amazing. No, get someone who's going to help you do it right. If you just get a program off someone, they don't care if you're going to injure yourself or not, because they're just making money selling you a program. How many of these programs online that you see does the people selling it check in with you regularly, even if it's not remotely, do video check-ins, show you the form, check your form? They don't, right? They want you to spend 40, 50, some even £80 a month for a program with nothing that's just they're giving to everyone, which they're
probably writing out last minute because they know there's a deadline for your.
We all want that easy thing, and look, you've seen and a lot of them will work off the fact that hey, there's a load of hench people looking awesome doing their workouts. Buy this program, you look like us, but you won't, because they've done that by having years of consistent training and diet, and probably having really good coaches themselves.
Yes.
I quite often write on LinkedIn, where I do sort of my professional stuff, kind of parallels between the two, where it's human nature that is what drives all of this stuff. So human nature drives people to make security mistakes and do things that aren't safe at work, or the quick option at work, or want to get the quick fix, or the silver bullet's going to make it all fine. And human nature does the same things in fitness. You want to believe it. Like most people know in their heart of hearts, right, that they're not going to look like the guy or gal on the influencer page just by downloading a program, or by doing whatever it is, bicep curls on a Bosu ball or whatever, right? But you still want to believe it because it's the easy way to get there.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a way, you find people, there's a statistic that I read that people buy a gym membership, never use the gym, but just to tell people they have a gym membership. So I feel like a lot of the time when they buy a program, they're like, I've got this program, I'll go to the gym and I'll do 20% of this program, to what I should be doing it as. And it's just that thing of saying, I've got this thing that I do, I'm not getting fit, I wonder why. And it's that, I think people subconsciously, they already know that they're not willing to put that work in to get them results. But just by justifying it to people by saying they have it, is that tick on the box for them, And
it's hard and boring, right?
Yeah.
The reality is, training is, you have to turn up every day. Obviously you have some rest days as well, but turn up to whatever you're doing every day.
Yeah.
You have to do a lot of repetitive stuff. Same as martial arts, right? No one gets good at even something as simple as a jab without doing a lot of jabbing, right?
Yeah.
So anything to be good at it is repetition and repetition and repetition. If you want to get faster and more explosive and stronger, you're going to be doing whatever it is, med ball stuff, kettlebell stuff, sled pushes, trap bar deadlifts, all of these things, but week in, week out for months and years. And it's not like you can't do it, if you've got a fight in a month, start now, it's great, but you're not going to be suddenly 20 times better by a month's time. It's just a gradual build up over time, right? And people need to realise that. I can't remember what the exact phrase is, but it's something like, I'm more scared of the man who's done one kick 10,000 times than the man who knows 10,000 kicks.
Yes,
like that,
yes.
And it is. You watch, like, Muay Thai is a great example, right? Watch the greats. Do they do much flashy stuff?
No. The basics off by heart.
They're just legit at the basics. Look at what, who was it who fought the Japanese guy the other day?
Super leg.
Look at the guy's leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's leg. And look at what they had to how much they bandaged up afterwards. That's a low kick.
I think he had a full leg cast there.
It's mad.
Leaving the venue.
So that's a low kick.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, what did he do? Did he do a jump spinning this or that? No, he low kicked the crap out of the guy, right?
Yeah.
Or talking low kicks, Liam Harrison's another great one, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knows he's going
Very
to come
strong
low
low
kick
kicker.
you, and it still works, even though you know what he's going to do because he's so good at what he does and so good at setting up. You still get your leg ruined by him, right?
Yes.
So, and all of them, whoever it is, whoever your favourite Thai fighter is, whether it's a kind of the kind of guys from here, like Nico and all those guys, or whether it's the Nongos and Rod Tangs or whoever your favourite guy is, watch them fight. They're not going to be doing flashy stuff most of the time. They're just very, very good at what they do.
It's very much A to B fighting, so it's whatever shot connects to A to B the quickest and most effective. Whereas I feel like you said, it relates to training and strength and conditioning, people are overcomplicating everything.
Yeah.
Trying to look the best, trying to do I think cameras now, especially with workouts, kind of fuck it up a lot because people are trying to do shit now for attention more so than the results. So they're like, oh, I'm doing this training, and let me take a video up on social media. Whereas what we do in our training, like the biggest question I get is, how much do you guys run? And like when I say this to Kev, it's like, hey, running. Like,
I was going to post about this actually. I've got a kind of let's talk running post in my head.
Yeah.
And there is nothing wrong with running, right? If you enjoy running, it's great. And it's a great way of building that base fitness. And we do some other types of running, like hill sprints and things. Which is that speed and power stuff. But it seems to be a really polarising thing. You'll see posts online and they'll be like, oh, anyone who doesn't want to run as a fighter is lazy and hates hard work. And it's like, come and do a session with us, bro. But it's and there is loads of ways to get that. You've got to build that base. So the 20, 30, 40 minutes, in Muay Thai, the longest fight you're going to do is 5 3-minute rounds, right?
Yeah.
So that's 15 minutes plus the breaks. You're talking 19 minutes of fight of work, including breaks. So you don't need to be able to go for hours and hours and hours because that's not your domain. You're not a marathon runner. There's no problem if you want to burn some calories doing some long walks and running, but it's like it's not the domain you're working in. So you might do a 5K 20-minute run, great. But there's other ways to do it. There's nothing wrong with doing the running. I'm not saying don't run, but especially for bigger guys and heavier guys, road running is quite hard on your joints as well.
Yeah,
right?
very.
So, you've got rowing, ski erg, assault bikes, interval stuff with kettlebells and battle ropes, and all these things we can do to build that fitness.
Yeah.
We'll do some work in kind of longer stuff. We'll do some really short intervals, like 20, 30 seconds to peak that kind of high power output, and then we do a lot of work in the rounds. So we'll do 3-minute rounds or 90-second rounds, whatever your rounds are. We work that so you know what your limit is. How hard can you push for 5 threes or 3 threes or whatever it is, and we work towards what your next fight is to really peak you for that. And then people also running does help bone density, but not as much as strength training. So again, I think this is where Muay Thai is kind of catching up with kind of some of the kind of S&C and kind of the current research kind of world. But running is great for building bone density, but it's not as good as strength training. So picking up heavy weights, and for you, obviously don't go and pick up try and pick up a 300 kilo deadlift you've never deadlifted.
Yeah.
But resistance training, as science has shown, it is the best way to build bone density. So again, if you're talking about running for bone density, that's fine, but you can also end up getting shin splints and harming your bones, right, with too much running. So just be considerate about your training, work with a coach who really understands you and your body, and try not to fall in the camp of do or don't do it, right? It's what works people. But it's not, running isn't necessarily the best way to build fitness in any domain. It's no problem with it either, and it's not scientifically not the best way to build bone density. That's picking up heavy stuff, so carrying heavy weights, so carrying sandbags, doing deadlifts, doing squats, all of those things are better at building bone density. So I think it feels like one of those things where people who love it will slag off everyone who doesn't love it, and people who hate it will slag off everyone who loves it. And it's like there isn't a right or wrong answer, but don't get into the camp of just because especially traditionally, where Muay Thai's come from, a lot of traditional training is you run every day, then you do pads, then you do some sparring, and you might do
some
a bit
pull-ups, crunches, and push-ups.
But it's not got it's catching up with the world. But then you look at some of the guys, especially the guys coming from the sort of more Western training, where they're maybe a little bit more forward thinking in the S&C stuff. And they might not win all fights, but look at how brutally strong some of the guys are compared to some of the more traditional people.
You mentioned a name there, Nico Carrillo.
Yeah.
I mean, fantastic fighter, very well-rounded, decorated fighter, in the big gloves and small gloves. If you see him on one at the minute, against a lot of the Thais, you know, he is a big force against them, you know, and I think this is where you're seeing the western side of strength and conditioning, weight cutting coming against the Thais. Now you're going to have to see the Thais are going to have to probably go down another way or pick up that strength and conditioning work, you know. And you're seeing, like you mentioned, Superlect. You've got Ciarain Shanahan, he's looking quite lean and strong. You got Super Bon, who's also looking quite lean and strong. Sinsuma, they're all looking like big Thais now, you know. And this is the first time we're seeing Thais now looking, not the first time, but I mean having more size about them, coming up to like foreign fighters from where we are. Now that's pretty interesting, and like, I mean, my knowledge of S&C before working with you was always very like, right, follow a bodybuilding video, work out on YouTube, do 10 to 15 reps, make sure you're sweating and you feel a burn, that's it. But I mean, our sessions usually range like between 45 minutes to an hour. Might go over sometimes, but I feel like I get so much good work in that 45 minutes to an hour because it's precise and it all has a meaning to it, you know, where sometimes I go into the gym doing weight training, I'll be lost. You know?
Yeah, and that's the thing with that, because it's a bit different. So strength and conditioning for fighters is very different to strength to like bodybuilding. Right?
Yeah.
So if you look at the kind of traditional, I don't know if that's traditional, but kind of bodybuilding training, they're building for bigger muscles, right?
Yeah.
And they like time under tension, and it'll be kind of slow and controlled and feeling that muscle, which is great for building big, strong muscles, but it's not fast and explosive, which isn't how you want to fight. So there's two things we have to do for like fighting S&C, right? Which is one, is obviously how do we build the speed and power? Well, I guess there's three, sorry, I'm going to lie and say there's three, sorry. So it's building speed and power for fighting, so, you know, explosive movements. We still do a lot of traditional stuff like trap bar deads and squats and things, but it'll be thinking about how do we make that into an explosive thing, or how do we do some contrast training? So you might do, you know, like we'll do deadlifts, but straight into some kettlebell swings.
Yes.
So you're building the strength, but then still building explosive power, or squats into box jumps, that kind of stuff. So we're doing a bit of both. It's called contrast training, so you do those two things. Then the second that we have to be careful of is volume. So because you boys all train, or girls, sorry, all train, you know, sometimes multiple times a day, and the S&C has to be working you enough, but not so much you can't train. So again, if I'm a bodybuilder or I'm just going for maximal strength, it doesn't matter if I do a leg session, then the next 3 days I'm walking around, legs, I can hardly walk.
Yeah.
That's fine if that's your goal, is to get maximally strong. But if you're a fighter and it's like we've done a savage leg session and we're going, right, let's do squats, then leg press, then lunges, then leg extensions, then this, and it's like you can't walk right for 3 days, you can't train properly.
Exactly,
so it impacts your training. So part of my goal is to make you guys as fit and strong as you can be, but without impacting your training too much. And then the third one is looking at ways to kind of prevent injury. So we do quite a lot of things like some accessory work for your shoulders, single leg stuff, so step ups, lunges, and all those things to kind of build the strength around your knees. So where there's things that, where you're overstretching a lot in your shoulders with punching and you're getting hit in the knees and those kind of things, we do work to kind of build up areas of your body that are prone to getting injured, so we try and reduce injury. So
they
it's
make
kind
a massive difference there.
Speed and power for fighting, minimising impact on your actual fight training, because that's the most important part for training, and trying to reduce injuries. We can't guarantee you won't, but trying to reduce the chance of you getting injured or rehabbing from injury, those kind of things. Yeah,
no, them shoulder accessories and the stuff that we do, especially to build up around our knee joints and stuff, is phenomenal. And there are certain things that you look at and you're like, oh, but you're not grafting really hard at that. But it's not about that. You can't go, right, every weight exercise has to be 100%, like hitting pads. You got to think about, right, how are we going to build this body up, keep it safe and keep it stable? And with them, especially when I punch, the shoulder accessory stuff, I feel like I'm actually punching through a wall.
Yeah.
But I think our ice bath is ready. So
it's overflowing.
It's overflowing, and we are going to get ready and get into this ice bath and carry on this interview. So hold on with 2 secs. Right. Let's get going. Oh God, don't get me wet. Jesus Christ. Fat man. Right, so you're kind of wondering what this is. This is Kev's mic, so then obviously I can keep a track of his voice. So, Kev, I want to touch on to discipline. I mean, obviously seeing the fit state you're in and the age you are, you know, you look like you're in your 20s with your abs. So, explain to me, how do you have such a great physique at this age?
Well, I think it's like coming back to what we were talking about before, it's that discipline piece, right? So it's stuff like this where it's like you don't want to do it. There's like a little leak here. Look.
Oh, that. No.
That's all right.
We've not done the timer.
Don't worry, man.
Shite, one sec. How would you open that? If you'll be able to, but...
Yeah, okay. And then, where's the clock? There you go.
Right, I'm going to start that.
Yes.
We'll have that one. No, actually, we're going to keep it going. Fuck it. Right. Timer, stopwatch, go. So, discipline.
Yeah, so it's like doing this, right? Let's be honest. None of us go, oh, I want to sit in a bowl of cold water for 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
But doing it helps. So it's that shivering against more. But yeah, so doing things that you don't necessarily love doing and doing them consistently is the key to winning. There's no one at the top of any sport or any endeavour that hasn't done it consistently for a long time. Whatever that endeavour is, whether you're a singer or a filmmaker or an artist or my job or this stuff we do, there's no one that hasn't consistently put in the time, right? And they've put in that time and they've done their stuff and they've done their work and they've kind of done that consistently for years. Yeah, it's that 10,000 hour rule thing, right? And it's that, and I don't know if that's how true it is, but there's a kind of, you've got to put the time in, you've got to put the work in to get there.
Yes.
And you sometimes got to do things you don't want to do, right? So how many of you guys who come and do the S&C get up and go, right, you might enjoy the first bit where we do the kind of, for anyone who's not aware, we tend to split the sessions into kind of a strengths, power kind of component. That's going to be more fun because that's the bit where we do sled stuff and the deadlifts and the kind of not conditioning side of it, and some broad jumps, box jumps, all those sort of things. And then we do, depending how near you are after the fight, we get more and more into a kind of really ferocious conditioning. Yeah. And that's where we'll do the savage rounds or the interval training. And you're not going to get up and go, I know what I want to do. I want to go as hard as I can on an assault bike this morning. Yeah. How many people get up and do that, right? But you boys turn up every session, and if I'm like, right, we're doing 20-second intervals on an assault bike, and we're going to cry by the end of it, we do 20 seconds of an assault bike and you all give it 100%. Yeah. Or we'll be doing rounds of kettlebells and jumps and ski ergs and whatever else, and you all go for it. Yeah. Or this thing, you know. And
it's not that easy. I mean, like, just because we turn up and do it every day or 3 times a week, 4 times a week, like, there's sometimes I go into the session, I ask Kevin, like, what's the crack, what are we doing today? And he'll say some of the stuff we're doing, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this. But I suppose that discipline of understanding how much better it'll make you feel once you've done it, but also the longevity of it. I mean, for you, a lot of people, I always see everyone ask, how the fuck do you look so good at your age? How the fuck are you so good at performing? How do you keep up with the lads that you're coaching that are full-time professional fighters? And it is that thing of, like, I never see Kev miss a day. If he misses a day, he makes up for the day. Yeah. And there's always that, right, I'll have that break, but I'll make up for it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? And no one's perfect. I mean, you know, we all have the odd bad day. But you want to get to the thing, it's like when you have a bad day or you have a rest day, and you have to kind of force yourself to have the rest day because you know it's what the right thing is. That's when you know when you're in a good place from training, because you're like, I don't really want to be doing nothing, but I've got to do nothing. I've just got to go for a walk today because I need my body to recover. And it's then you have like, or you might have an off day when it's just like, I don't feel up to training today. Yeah. But that's the occasional day and you feel bad about it. And then you come back and put the work in the next session, right? And it's, like you can hear me shivering. I didn't wake up this morning going, I know what I want to do. I want to shiver and speak to Ciarain, but sound like an idiot. So, hey guys, you want to do stuff that is really good for you because it's so great for your body. And it's like, and there's a video that Ciarain's going to put out on the internet of me going, hey guys, training's great for you. Yeah, so it's not just sitting in this ice bar. You all get to see me shivering, mate. And it's like, I didn't wake up this morning thinking, great, how can I look stupid on the internet today? But here we go. But yeah, and it's those things. And just from the mental point of view as well, right? Doing things you don't want to do builds discipline. If you think of discipline like a muscle, right? All of these things, if you do nothing that you don't want to do and do nothing that's hard, you've got no ability to do hard things, right? So it doesn't just help you in your training. So for all the guys, whether it's Muay Thai or whatever it is you do, doing things that are hard and pushing yourself mentally and physically to do the hard things builds that discipline muscle, right? So then if something hard happens in life, you can handle it. So you lose your job, or someone in your family gets ill, or your child's not well, or you're just busy because you're trying to take your kids to school and work and whatever else. Yeah. Or, I don't know, you have a car crash or whatever, bad stuff happens, or your house gets robbed. You can deal with it because you're used to dealing with hard things. Yes. If you never do hard things voluntarily, when hard things come to your life, you're like, I don't know how to do hard, and you just can't cope with it. But it's like, some shit's happened, like, your house gets robbed, you come home, or whatever's happened. You're like, right, let's deal with it. What do we do? These are the steps to go through. And you can be calmly and rationally deal with the situation because you're used to dealing with hard stuff.
Fuck yeah, that's a brilliant analogy, Kev. That's a brilliant analogy. And we were setting for 3 minutes in the ice bath, but that speech was absolutely banging. You've got 10 seconds left to hit 5 minutes.
Boom.
I've now got to get ready to go. Fuck's sake.
You can all hear Ciarain.
Whose idea was this, in the name of God?
This is what we do to entertain you, folks.
5 minutes. Lovely.
Let's go.
Kevlar, it is my turn. Fucking absolutely stacked bastard. Woo! Okay, so now it's my turn. I'm just going to get straight in there. Woo, thankfully I've taken a bit of water out of there for me. So,
Yeah. For those who didn't notice, Ciarain's a little bit bigger than me.
so yeah, I mean, it's been a very interesting chat with you, Kev. And I feel like, you know, we could chat for fucking hours. I mean, hours. But I mean, in the overall scheme of things, I mean, with training and the S&C, and we were talking about how important it is for fighters, I think taking time out of training in a Muay Thai gym and putting more effort into your strength conditioning also helps you balance Muay Thai training. Because I feel like there's a lot of fighters that train very hard in Muay Thai for years and years and years. And I take myself as an example, that I pulled out of the game for 5 years. Because I felt like that, it's just kind of like a roundabout effect. I was just hitting shit, I was just doing shit all the time, the same stuff. But having you open my eyes, and as a coach, mate, you check in a lot with us. You know what I mean? You're always checking in to make sure we're okay. If we have down days, I mean, there's some days I leave the gym and Kevin would be like, I leave the gym a bit quiet, and Kevin would be like, are you alright, mate? Like, your stuff good. And I think that as a coach, like, it really shows your care and is it due diligence? How you look out for
care
us?
and attention. I think it's like we were saying before, is you become, especially when it's kind of you train together and you work together so closely, you do become like almost family, you know. And I'm trying to work out how to extend that to some more people at the moment, but it's really important that you have trust in each other, right? So
explain that to I little bit, because we've hit the family topic, but you obviously offer out this to other people as well that aren't just fighters and that do want to work. So if you want to reach his socials, Kevlar Strength on Instagram, Kevin Fielder on LinkedIn. Yeah. I mean, let everyone know what you do.
So obviously I've been working directly with kind of Ciarain and Ben and some of the other boys recently, and I've just started trying to work out how I can like extend it out a little bit more, but still keep it bespoke. So I'm still shivering. So just a very quick one for those who aren't aware: when you have the ice bath, you may get out, feel alright for a minute, then start shivering again, because how your body works is when you're in the ice bath or anything like really cold, your body takes all the blood out your kind of hands and feet and moves it all to your core to keep you warm. So your hands and feet and legs and arms will work really cold. And then when you get out the ice bath, it's like, I'm warming up again. It lets all the blood back out to your hands and feet, and your hands and feet and arms are really cold. So you suddenly the blood gets cold in your hands and feet, it comes back in. So you actually get a little secondary bit of shivering afterwards sometimes. It's mad. So I'm trying to work out how to sort of extend it. So I'm trying it. Like Alfie Pearce from JD is just picked up doing it. Yeah, he's a great guy, man. And he's literally just started the last few weeks. So we're just kind of working out the schedule and how we're going to work it with him. But just trying to work out how I can kind of grow it a little bit, but still keep it bespoke, because I don't want to be anyone can write a program, right? I can write a program, chuck it online, go, I'll buy my program for whatever. Yes. But that doesn't, like we touched before, that doesn't really help people, especially when you've got a career or you want to be going somewhere with what you're doing. Yeah. So I'm trying to work out how I can get it to a point where it's bespoke for people, but a bit more people. So I won't be there training with you, but what I'm kind of working on is meet people, talk to them, do regular check-ins with them, build a bespoke program for them, because obviously the programs have a lot of commonality, so it's not like I'm going all from scratch, but understand your injuries, understand your goals, understand your weaknesses and what you want to improve on. And then I do kind of, for each workout, I give a little voice message, so like 2 or 3 minute description of the workout and what the intent is, because obviously you've got, take a kettlebell swing, right? You could go, I'll just do lots of light ones, or do I want to be really explosive? Or box jumps, sometimes we try and do box jumps where it might be in a round, you're just trying to get as many as you can done. Yeah. Other times you try and land on the box almost upright, so you've jumped much higher. So I give a really good explanation of the movements and what the intent is for that workout and what we're looking for. And then kind of little videos, I'm trying to build up a little library of videos of the movements. Ciarain's been helping me with that. So if you're not sure how something looks or how to do something, you've got a video instruction as well. So
it helps a lot, really does help a lot.
So it's kind of bespoke. It's how to scale it, but to a few more people, but keep it bespoke, so you really get the benefits of kind of S&C that's dedicated for you and what your goals are.
I think, because I was speaking about podcasting, I feel like podcasting is like programming. It's an overwashed market at the minute. Yeah. There's so much of it in it, and I feel like most people nearly just copy and paste it from what they see online a lot of the time. And But just to touch on the ice baths, I remember we were in the gym once and we were watching this guy trying to get into the ice bath on the news. And it built up such a fear factor about getting into this. And I feel like the fasting that I touched on before, I think like this builds up such a durable mindset, you know what I mean, to be in here and to be able to go, fuck it, I can do 3 to 5 minutes in an ice bath or whatever, you know. Here's my shivery coming out.
10 seconds, mate. Nearly done. 5 minutes, everyone.
Kev, it's been a fucking pleasure having you on this, brother, honest to God. I mean, you guys, you see he does a lot of work with us and all that stuff, but you never really get to know the Kev Fielder that we know. You know what I mean? You still don't know him yet. He's the crazy cunt, that's what like that. But
yes, bro.
But look, let's get John back on the couch for a little finisher. So that was our ice bath. We both done 5 minutes each, which we both feel very cold after that. But I briefly touched on it in the ice bath, saying thank you so much for taking the time to jump on this with me, brother. I mean, he's an insanely busy individual, but has a lot of care for all of us, you know, and to put time into talking to you guys about himself, and about his work, and obviously about what he does with us and his family. You know, a big family man. And I mean, it's admirable to see what he does on a day-to-day, and it gives us as fighters a lot of motivation to keep pulling up. But guys, please, if you have any questions or would like to get in contact with Kevin, get working with him, please drop him a message on his social media accounts, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever. And also follow him, you know what I mean? Follow his journey. I mean, fucking, it's an amazing journey. And like you said, the last 3 years, 4 years we've done. 4 years, fucking
we're trying to work out earlier, we were saying it's been like sort of 3 or 4 years of pretty consistently 3 times a week S&C, and obviously hanging out and doing family stuff as well. But the amount of time we spent together training and growing, it's been amazing. It's like, I think that's one of the other things that's really cool about coaching people. So I've like taken over your goodbye.
Of course, mate,
but
take over.
It's sharing that journey.
Yeah.
So it's like we talk about quite a lot, but like, you know, Ciarain's success is like, I feel part of it because obviously, you know, he's growing and training, and you know, he's worked with Dave and now he's working with Andy at GID for the Muay Thai side of things. But we're all part of it, and we're part of that growth. And you know, Ben and the other guys, and there's been a few guys like kind of Jordan and Dean that have had their first fights, and they've trained with us as well and got themselves fit for their first fights and stuff. And it's so exciting seeing people grow and seeing just the way it can change lives, the way training changes lives, and people feel confident and happy and excited and better about themselves. So being part of that journey, I think it's, you know, the reason why I'm so passionate about it is I think it's a privilege. We as coaches get to be part of seeing people grow and seeing them get to their goals, man. It's amazing.
It's a privilege. And to finish that off, lads, I'd like to say thank you for joining us for episode 9 of Between the Rounds with Kevlar Strength.
Yes, bro.
Kevin Fielder, brother, is awesome. Give me a hug.
Yes.
Anyway, good luck and
Thanks,
have
everyone.
a fucking good one.
Nice.
Available on Android and Apple devices. Download the Leapfrog Fight TV app and enjoy a whole host of shows as part of your membership.